Hey guys, Megan here with Yoga in the Lake. Today I have about a 15-minute sequence for opening through the lower half of the body. If you're doing a lot of sitting these days, this is a great way to just kind of release some of the tension that you might find building in hips down. So we'll just get started with a little bit of breathing, just a little connecting to our bodies. So hand over heart, hand on the belly. Let your eyes gently close. Just begin to notice the sensation of the breath as it draws in through your nose, travels down all the way until you feel that pressure in your belly. And then allow the breath to release same way it came in. And then maybe imagining a square shape in your mind, just starting with a little bit of balanced breathing. As you trace across the top of the square, inhale. Allow the breath to hover here on that full inhale as you trace your mind's eye down the right side of the square. Exhale as you trace across the bottom of the square. And then hover there as you trace back up to where you started, left side of the square. 2 more times here, square breath, inhaling as you trace your mind's eye across the top, hovering here as you trace down the side. Exhale as you trace across the bottom, and hovering in this exhale space as you trace up the side. One last time here, tracing the square across the top as you inhale deeply, holding that breath without kind of locking out through your windpipe, through your mouth or nose, just using your strength to hold that breath as you trace down the side. Full exhale, matching the length of your inhale. And then again, holding this space of a full exhale as you allow your mind's eye to trace up the side of the square. Take one last deep breath in through your nose, feeling your hand lift on your belly, on your chest. And then full open mouth exhale. Before opening your eyes, just kind of notice how you feel in your body. Notice if there's any areas you might want to give a little extra love, pay a little special attention to. And then let your eyes float open. Hands can release to your thighs. Noticing your setup here. Knees over the ankles, shoulders over the hips, ears over the shoulders. Fingertips reach tall, gaze lifts, and exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale back up to the sky, and exhale, release the hands to the thighs. 3 rounds of cat and cow. Cow pose, heart lifts, sits bones widen, and reversing it out, cat. Just first opening through the spine with a little flexion and extension. And one more time here, inhale cow, heart lifts, and exhale cat, finding that rainbow shape through your spine. Coming back up to a neutral seated position, beginning to lift opposite heel, opposite set of toes, just beginning to get some blood pumping through the legs. Bringing some strength into the calves. Especially if you've been sitting all day, this just helpful to get things moving a bit. One more here, and then beginning with a full leg lift through the right, and then a full leg lift through the left. Stabilizing by engaging through your lower belly here, keeping those toes pulling in towards your shin, really pressing through your heel, Feeling the strength through the quad, but also the opening through the back of the leg. Nice job. 2 more here. And then hovering through the right leg, lifting that leg up off the ground, pointing through the toes here and finding some ankle circles. Just drawing a circle with the toes in one direction, keeping a nice long spine here, and then switching directions, circling through the toes in the opposite direction. Gather that leg in towards your belly, feeling the belly press against the thigh. As you take a deep inhale and full exhale. And again, deep inhale here and full exhale. Taking the left arm, extending it out towards me, hook that arm around the right knee, and just a gentle twist over to the right. Breath in, and breath out. Come back to center. Take the right ankle to the space above the left knee. Figure 4 legs or seated pigeon pose here. Keeping engaged through the right foot, those toes are actively pulling in towards the shin. Imagine the right knee drawing out away from you, and then sit up nice and tall. That might be enough sensation for you, or you might have some space to fold forward, reaching that heart out towards me. Nice job. Just finding that place where you can help foster a little bit of opening, a little bit of release. Notice what happens to your breath as you come into these more intense stretches. If it starts to shorten, see if you can lengthen it. Maybe even closing your eyes. Imagine that breath flowing into those spaces where there's tightness. 1 more breath here. And full exhale. Drawing yourself back up to a seated position. Foot releases to the earth. And just a little gentle windshield wiper of that right knee. Coming this time into our left leg. Left leg lifts nice and tall. Hands can come to the hips, reminding you to keep nice and long through the center of the body. Point through the toes and find that ankle circle in one direction. And then stopping and finding that same ankle roll in the opposite direction. Then gathering the left knee, left shin, left thigh in towards the body. Sit up nice and tall, lifting through the heart, lifting through the crown of the head. Deep breath in. Feeling that compression on the opposite side of the abdomen. Full exhale, maybe pulling that leg in a little bit tighter. And then extend out through the right arm, wrapping that right arm around the left leg. Gentle twist here as your left hand falls behind you. Again, continuing to sit up nice and tall. One more deep breath here. And exhale, release to center, crossing the left ankle above the right knee. Toes again, pulling in towards the shin. Knee pointing away from you, kind of pulling in that direction. Both hips are grounding down into the chair, sits bones plugged in, and sitting up nice and tall. As well as noticing what's happening to your breath. As you come into a place of stillness, notice what's happening to your mind. Where does it want to take you right now? See if you can bring it back into this moment, into the sensation, what you're feeling in your physical body. The rest will come as it's meant to. Deep breath in here. And full open mouth exhale. One more round of breath. Deep inhale. And release. Coming back up to seated, release the left foot to the floor, letting that knee find a windshield wiper motion. And then coming back to that nice, tall, seated position. Toe heel your feet out to the sides, toes pointing slightly out, knees still stacked over the ankles. and sits bones plugging down into your chair. First, stir the pot, moving first in a clockwise rotation. Heart reaches out towards your left knee, through center, over the right, as you round through the sacrum area. Just kind of moving through that hip joint space. Creaky chairs all around. One more time here. Coming up through center and switching directions, this time moving counterclockwise, first over that right thigh, through center, over the left. And then one more time here. Coming to center and screwing down through the right hip, swiveling into a sort of low lunge legs here, keeping the hips parallel this way with the earth, and really pressing down through the ball mount of the left foot. You should feel the right thigh activate, and also some opening through the right hip flexor, left hip flexor area here. Sit up nice and tall, arms can extend overhead. And maybe you find a little side stretch here, right fingertips around the left wrist. Inhale, find length, and exhale. Find that reach overhead towards the back of your chair. And coming back to center, hands release back to the hips as you come back to that wide-legged position. This time, screwing the left hip down into the chair, pivoting to the left of your chair. Again, rounding down strong through the right ball mount, pressing through the heel, feeling the front of the right thigh open. Sitting nice and tall. The left hip bone should actually be light on the chair. You can almost lift up off that space. And then hands reach up overhead. This time, left fingertips clasp around the right wrist. First, find that length, and then that reach up and overhead. Come back up, hands down to the hips as you pivot back to center. Toe heeling the feet, back together. Extend out through the right leg. Toes pulling in, heels planting, maybe sitting a little closer to the edge of your seat. Fingers can interlace and press into the left thigh. First, reach through the spine, through the heart, and then on your exhale, reach the heart towards the toes. Deep opening through the back of the leg. Full breath in and full breath out. 2 more breaths here. And then lifting back up, switching our sides. This time, left leg extends long, interlacing the fingers the opposite way. So whichever thumb you had on top is now on bottom. Planting down through the right thigh. Lift that heart, sit nice and tall, and then dropping your heart towards the left big toe. Stay nice and long through the lower back. Not finding kind of a rounding space, getting that head closer, but a really long lengthening space here through the front and the back of the body. Deep breath in and full exhale. Coming back to a seated position. Again, knees stacked over your ankles. Fingers sweep up overhead. Palms meet, gaze comes to the thumbs, and then trace the thumbs down towards your heart center. Press into the feet, feel the connection with the earth below you. Lift through the crown of your head, reaching towards the sky above you, and feel yourself grounded through your heart center, lifting into your thumbs as palm presses into palm. Deep breath in, full exhale. Thumbs rise to third eye center. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.